Productivity and a little bit of tension characterized the week of November 4th, 2019. I'm Armand Diaz with your forecast for this week. And I have to say that it starts off and kind of ends with tensions. The beginning of the week, first quarter moon, and that is in the sign of Aquarius. So the sun is in Scorpio, the moon is in Aquarius. The sun is deep gut instinct, passion. The moon is in Aquarius, where it's a little bit more favoring a rational, get a little perspective on things kind of approach. At best, this is great for coming up with a strategy to make things happen. You know what you want to do, and you figure out a way to do it. That's a good first quarter moon kind of activity. You always want to put things into action on the week of the first quarter moon. So that's this week. And so there's a good opportunity for that. The flip side of things a little bit is if your head space gets a little too big and your gut instinct is telling you one thing and your ideas are telling you another, then you've got some tension there. But you should be able to work that out. What's harder to work out is the square between Mars in Libra and Pluto in Capricorn, which is exact very early Tuesday morning Eastern time. So that it's quite powerful on Monday and through about mid-morning European time on Tuesday. Otherwise, if you're in the US, the square starts to fade as we get into Tuesday, and the moon will be void just about all day Tuesday. So Monday is really the day for this for most of us. So the way this works is that Mars in Libra is trying to get stuff done, probably going through channels, which doesn't really appeal to Mars all that much. Pluto is putting the demands on, and there's just not this easy flow of things. What you want to do through this time, Monday through about mid-morning Tuesday in Europe, is focused action. Focused action. You want to have a channeled energy. You don't want to engage in multitasking. You don't want to take too many things on at one time. Do one thing, complete it as best you can, move on to the next thing. Dog's barking. It's probably a day when most of us will prefer to work alone as the week begins. We may not have that opportunity. This week may call for collaboration. You may have to get involved with others. So, you might prefer to work alone, but you may not be able to. These things happen. Again, the moon is void all day Tuesday. Once the moon goes into Pisces on Tuesday evening or early, well, it'll be later on Tuesday evening, no matter where you are. We have a nice productive stretch through midweek, Wednesday, Thursday. The feel of it is very much flexibility, the ability to get things to work for us. It's a good productivity. We know what we want to do. We have adaptability. It's a great week for socializing. As soon as that moon goes into Pisces at about 6 o'clock on Tuesday Eastern time, 3 o'clock Pacific time, 11 o'clock Greenwich time, do the math yourself. You can sign up for the newsletter. Go to armanddiaz.com, sign up for the newsletter, and then you get the times just given to you. Anyways, once the moon goes into Pisces, we have a great stretch of time for socializing all the way through the weekend. The moon's going to be in Pisces. It's going to be void on Thursday evening, but a void moon in Pisces is not a thing. There is a little bit more tension on the weekend with the Aries moon, but it's an almost full Aries moon. It's going to be good. It's going to be fun. It's going to be active. And then Sunday night, Sunday evening, the moon goes into Taurus, and then, that's nice. It's almost full. There's going to be a lot of things popping around that time because the moon is going to, almost full moon is going to hit Uranus. But some of that's for next week. Okay, so midweek constructive energy. Friday returns to some of that tension that we had earlier in the week as the Aries moon squares Saturn and Pluto. After a few days where things are flowing pretty good, we could feel that we're getting up against some deadlines. We may feel that there's extra pressure to get things done on Friday. So make it a strong end to the week. Saturday, same general kind of energy prevails. You might want to get some chores done at home. You might want to take some work home. You might want to get things done on Saturday as much as possible, and then go out and play. Sunday, the moon is void just about all day. And this will be a time when it would be good, I would say. The last aspect the moon makes is a trine to Jupiter. I would say that a great idea would be to go do a little bit of exploration, go for a hike, take a hike, as they say. It would be good for a little bit of healthy competition. It would be great for some exercise. All of this sort of stuff happening on Sunday. Make it an active, busy day. Burn off a little bit of energy, sensibly, but burn it off. Get some stuff out of your system, type of thing, especially if you've had a little bit of tension as the week ended. I don't really feel that tension on Friday or even on Saturday is going to be really a lot, but it could, it could revisit things that are happening earlier in the week where the tension is liable to have been stronger. You might also, as retrograde Mercury sextiles Pluto, you might also revisit a conversation from around October 19th. For those of you that, you can look through your emails or your texts or whatever. For those of you that are inclined to go back and look and see what was happening, then you may find some resonance going on over there. The big thing that's happening this week, though, is something that happens on the mundane or world level, in mundo, world, Mundane is a pretty unfortunate term. And that is a sextile between Saturn and Neptune. It's exact on Friday, but really my feeling is that the Pisces moon is sort of leading us into that. So again, it's from around Tuesday evening onwards. And this is an aspect that has its effect for a long time. It's actually sort of pulling us a little bit from the Scorpionic realm into the Neptunian Piscean realm, and we'll be there for a good part of November. So it is, in that sense, it represents a bit of a shift towards the Piscean, away from the Scorpionic, although there's still plenty of Scorpio to go. This aspect, though, it's the third time this year that this aspect has been exact, and so it has sort of colored the year. What it does is it gives us an opportunity to build on and make changes with things that happened over, essentially going back to the time when the planets were square in 2016. So this would be, for example, things like, Donald Trump being elected president, Brexit, a whole bunch of other stuff happened around 2016 too. Don't fool yourselves. But these are kind of like the sort of the big ticket items. It will certainly have to do with climate change types of issues that are going on, California wildfires and so on. What we're doing is we shifted our reality in 2016. If you think about it, if you sort of reflect back to 2015 or so and think about the determinants, the compass points back in 2015 and before, going back quite a ways, there was a big shift that happened in 2016. And, we reached this new point of, I think, increased uncertainty. I'm not sure that the compass points ever got put back in any sort of order. That's what we're working on now. It is revisiting, in a sense, the Saturn-Neptune conjunction in the late 80s. And that was another time of redoing and revisiting and starting again with the whole cycle of what is like where the collective Neptune, where the collective what's the collective dream of what's real, right? The collective dream of reality, our collective reality in a sense, but it's our dream of reality. It's our image of reality. And so, if you go back to the late 80s, we're talking about a time that was the whole fall of the Berlin Wall and that whole epoch that happened over there really realigned things again in terms of our collective. Instead of having the world split, the Iron Curtain and all that, we started to come up with a new vision of what our collective structures and institutions and reality were. And so we're almost at the end of that cycle. We're heading towards another Saturn-Neptune conjunction later in the next decade. But we are revisiting and we're sort of consolidating and we're looking at what we've done. So there's resonances that go back to the late 80s. There's resonances that go back to 2016. And that's what we're working out. It's on a collective level. It is on a collective level. I would pay a lot of attention to what's happening, though, because we live in the collective. That stuff on the news, that's our world. That's our world. It does matter. It takes a while to, kind of drizzle down, but it doesn't always take that long to drizzle down, and it is where we are. It is, I would say, the last real strong opportunity we have to make some big collective decisions before the Saturn-Pluto conjunction in January, which, yes, I will have a separate video about that in a couple of weeks. We'll talk about that. All right, so there's your week. Starts off with some tension. Let's call it motivation. Ends up with some tension and motivation. Good productive period in between. Lots of opportunities for fun the entire week long. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.